Lexington, Kentucky. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. And the fifth-ranked Kentucky Wildcats, fresh off a double overtime win against Gonzaga, take to their home floor to take on the Colgate Raiders out of the Patriot League. Welcome courtside, everybody. Tom Hart alongside Dane Bradshaw. What a start for Mark Pope and this Kentucky team. Lamont Butler started the first 8 games at point guard. He is out tonight. He could be back for Louisville this weekend. Kirk Kriisa is out with a Jones fracture. He is out indefinitely, but it'll likely be at least a few weeks before Kriisa is able to get back on the floor. Showed you the numbers. Kentucky scoring nearly 93 points a game. Here's Andrew Carr and Al Robinson. Otsega Owe takes a baseline drive, and Colgate doubles him for a minute. Shot clock at 4. Carr trying to find some space. Tough angle, but an offensive rebound and a putback by Amari Williams. Kentucky statistically has a huge advantage on the glass coming into this game. Colgate comes in at 2-8. They have been to the last 5 NCAA tournaments, and they are once again picked to win the Patriot League, but they're without a key player, Jeff Woodward, their 6'11", fifth-year senior. He was on the practice floor today for the first time since he injured his foot earlier this year against North Carolina State.
Here's that tempo. They want to push this, get right into their offense. And they run a lot of their offense right here out of their 5-man Williams with some of these dribble handoffs.
And look at that feed from Robinson to Williams. The most recent one came in 1952. Their first ever was in '49 against Bob Cousy and Holy Cross. It's 2 all-time. Here's Owe. Cut off. And in the paint draws a foul.
And Kentucky fans have been thrilled to see some of the adjustments he's been able to find for a reason, because they're winners, they're smart, they play together, and they can make adjustments.
Directly to Jackson Robinson. What makes Jackson Robinson a good point guard for a guy who hadn't played a whole lot of it?
Well, he's actually pretty strong with the ball. He's thin, but he bounces off contact really well, and it doesn't affect him too often. And there you see what's becoming one of their go-to plays.
Of a Kentucky high 19 points his last time out against Gonzaga.
With him, Tom, and he talked about how he's being used here at Kentucky, maybe a little bit different.
And Langle, their head coach, knew it would be a challenge for them coming in here. They have played a couple of power conference opponents. They got blown out at NC State, but they nearly won at Syracuse, just down the road from their campus, lost by 2. Carr into the corner for Brea, one of the nation's best from deep, and he drills his first 3 of the night. Grady Cummins throws one up. Colgate still hasn't made a bucket, and Brandon Garrison, who played inspired a battle in Seattle, comes up with the board, and then Carr with the flush.
From a 2 to a point. The toughest thing for them to do is make that first pass. What takes the pressure off of that, though, is Kentucky runs so much with their 5, it makes for a simple entry pass.
Carr with the lean and 1. Good body control. Carr's got a half dozen, and he's going to the free throw line. Loved his role in this offense relative to what it was at Wade.
Yeah, when we talked to Andrew about
5-time Patriot League Coach of the Year over the last 7 seasons. 5 years was an assistant to Fran Dunphy at Temple. Played for Fran in college.
When you think about what they've had to replace,
get on this second chance possession. It rained short. Cats only 6 for 14. And Colgate finally gets its first shot to go.
Boy, did they need it. You got to get that lid off the rim.
According to Evan Maya, the 10th best lineup in all of college basketball. That is a highly efficient lineup, as you can tell, based simply on the points that Kentucky puts up, nearly 93 a game. Garrison running the floor, fouled by Cameron Brennan.
And that's sophomore, and I can't wait to see where he is. Prioritizes is the right kind of guys that'll play together. Again, heartbreaking story. He meant so much for that program.
They were high school sweethearts at Ashland High School. And so one of the first things she did when they got inside the arena today, Scott off balance, is go and sit down in the seats that she's saved by Chandler. Nearly a good save. Kentucky scored the first 17 points of the game. Carlesimo, yeah, got it. My, how things would have been different. Seton Hall, the national championship game, and had to call Coach Newton up and give the job back, essentially. They ended up hiring Rick Pitino.
What a change of events.
They got a second one. Kyle red hot.
They're in the rhythm now. I mean, after a horrible shooting start, they saw one go in, have slowed Kentucky down. Again, the rotations are different right now for Kentucky. Good hard foul. Because of the injuries at the point guard. Going back to those lineups, Coach Pope will. Louisville's going to have to start knocking some shots down from deep if they want to keep up with Kentucky, and maybe more importantly, take care of the ball. Because if you have live ball turnovers against Kentucky, the pace will catch up to you.
Jalen Cox off the glass.
Was nowhere to be found.
Carr drawing some attention. Was two different doubles as Cox digs in. Oweh back out. Carr back to Oweh. Brea over the top of Carlishima.
Oweh turns down an open look, sends it over to Brea and says, I like your contested look better than my open look. Not a bad play.
Brea 2 for 2 from deep. Baker left alone. Got it! They are some kind of hot right now after a horrendous start to this game.
Colgate mixing up some defenses. They've shown several looks at zone despite the three-point shooters Kentucky has.
Tega Oweh rolls it home. What has Colgate done right on the way to Carr? Carr has to battle. Really good defense by Josh Ayare. Williams dumps it off to Robinson for the and one.
North Texas transfer dropped 30. Big win against.
Brea penetrating. Here's Oweh through traffic.
And what Oweh did right there is what I'd like to see Brea do on the previous drive. I felt like he got the inside position, got to the paint. Now lower your shoulder, initiate the contact, and finish at the rim.
Everybody's looking for more consistency, no matter what they do. Oh, one looking for the back cut. Turns into a three from the corner, and it's drilled by Parker Jones.
Parker Jones, really versatile forward. They use a lot of different ways as a screener, a popper, a shooter, does a lot of things for him.
Here's Brea in the starting lineup for the first time as a Kentucky Wildcat tonight, and he's got 3 threes.
Watch out, I mean, because he's feeling it right now. He always sees a big rim, but he's even hotter than normal right now.
A perfect 3 for 3 start. Jalen Cox, number 3 on the other end. Wants to run. Another 3, good. It's Parker Jones again. Paul Pierce. Missouri didn't have a single NBA player on their roster.
Did you feel unprofessional when you stormed the court as well?
Well, I always feel a little bit unprofessional. Brady Cummins gets his first bucket. And a turnover. Here's Cox. And it goes. Another 3. Louis Jacques with his first. And everybody from Colgate getting in on this one.
And Cox is setting the tempo right now. This guy's just a complete pest. And right now, Kentucky, who wants to push the tempo, it's hard to push tempo when you can't get a stop on the other end.
Quick feed inside and a nice look as Ainsley Almore finds his first bucket. Trent Noah on the floor for Kentucky for the first time.
And so, Tom, are we seeing a trend with Kentucky's defense? Because it was not great in that Gonzaga game. One of the reasons they went to some zone to try to get a stop. And right now, Colgate, out of the Patriot League, is getting bucket after bucket.
The game that Kentucky led 17-0. Colgate just kind of came out cold, sloppy, couldn't make one. Here's Noah. And Brea has plenty of time to set that one on the tee.
They typically say don't.
Paint touch, Sam Wright took a victory lap. How about this run for Colgate? Once again, a one-possession game after being down 17. There's been a hodgepodge of lineups for the Cats tonight, and unable to get into any rhythm after the good start. Sam Wright with his second.
They worked on that.
All right, Williams, 64% on the season, has earned in defensive rebounding percentage. They transfer.
He's got to sit down and guard because Coach Lango's got some good action that has them scrambling defensively.
Jones just left it short. Colgate fell behind early. They never panicked. They have made 7 threes and 6 twos. Little shake for Jones. Whoa! Rips it. Parker Jones with a flurry of a finish, and Colgate down 17 at one point, closes to 2.
How about this shot from Parker Jones? I mean, this guy calls his own number. No time left on the clock. Knows he's got to get it up over the contested hand of Carr, and butter, cash money
in front of the rim. Same starting 5 in the second half for Kentucky has started the game, including Kobe Brea. He made 4 starts last year at Dayton and making his first of the season tonight. Williams taking his time, goes to his right.
Yeah, he's got a shot. But yeah, the off balance was more based on his footwork than it was the hand on the back.
So it's the first on Amari Williams. Colgate gets a baseline out of bounds bucket on the feed to the 6'6" Brady Cummins.
And that's just
Cats are just 4 of 16 from 3 tonight. It's in line with their recent average, 27% over the last 4.5 games.
We've seen they're going to keep firing away.
Whoa, and here we go. And Colgate, after being down 17-0, takes the lead.
They dared Jalen Cox, who came into this game 2 for 17 from 3. But Coach Lango has said he's a better shooter than the percentages show.
Williams going to his strong side and gets the layup with his left. And a chance. Just 64% from the line.
Are you kidding me, Tom? Colgate with an opportunity to take the lead. This game was a complete blowout to start.
And the reverse gives them their second lead of the night. Brady Cummins has a half done. They started the game 0 for 10. Now they've made 17 of 28 from the floor.
These back doors open up. When you make 9 out of your last 10 threes, the back door and mid-range start to open up as Kentucky is trying to take away any play zone. I think it's just trying to keep Kentucky off balance. No different than what Kentucky did last game to Gonzaga.
Cats mix up the defense in the second half. Line lob and a finish from Williams.
You talk about knowing where your teammate's going to be. He didn't have to see him roll to the basket.
Anywhere with the ball in his hands. Brea off the curl, nothing. And now here's Carr. Shared to Owe, pinned his man. Owe was short, and Carr finishes it off. Cats back in front. Colgate 4 for 6 from the floor in the second half. Reverse goes.
As a player, I can remember the Kentucky fans, when they knew their team wasn't playing well and they needed a home court advantage and a boost and energy from the crowd, they would do that. And I hadn't seen that in recent years.
15 seasons for Kentucky was 21 in 2016 against Tennessee. So this would be their second largest if they can't pull this one out. The 3 from Robinson with some breathing room. Here's another. Back-to-back triples for Jackson Robinson. Answer not there from Parker Jones. Feels like this is go time for the Cats. Trent Noah throws it in. First bucket of the game for Noah. Consistency has held Colgate back.
I think one thing you see from Kentucky just now is the spurt ability that this team has from beyond the arc.
Another. Owe getting in on it. 12-0 Kentucky run. Well, Trent Noah's plus-minus is going to look pretty good after this one. Carlesimo puts it on the floor. Fade away, tough shot. Started as Noah. Brea hesitated, still got it. It's almost as if this gonna sound stupid, I know, that he's a better shooter with a hand in his head.
I think and it does. You mentioned their success and continuing to reach the postseason. It feels like a 14-3, 15-2 type game right now, where the favorite gets a little bit of a scare.
Kobe Brea all the way to the 17-0 hole. They got hot, and then just like that, it went away again.
Well, I think a lot of that too in the first half. Colgate had Kentucky on the run. Kentucky was missing shots. Colgate able to get out and transition even in their half-court sets. It was Kentucky on their heels. And so, once again, even though an inferior opponent, but Mark Pope and this Kentucky team make a half-time adjustment that certainly shows itself well here in the second half.
Remember, their big Sam Wright has been on the bench with his 4th personal foul. 15-footer good for Louis Jacques. Miami native. Was injured for the last quarter last season for Colgate. He started the first 20 games of the year. Lob inside of Amari Williams, high percentage. Look
out for a 3 if you can.
Coming short on that one. Here's Perry. Owe reverses it in. Beautiful move. He's getting double figures now.
Teams being more competitive.
We talked to Mark Pope about that. BYU with some very wealthy benefactors trying to build that up. Here's a steal by Jalen Cox, and he lost it on the foul by Brandon Garrett. There is obviously inconsistent, but the amount of money that is reportedly being spent between $6 and $8 million. That's for the entire team. And this recruit reportedly getting 5+. Finished by Parker Jones.
And while you tend to think that favors the bigger programs that have more alumni, tell you what, it's and we talked a lot too about the difference. Everybody's learned, but then another school might say, no, we're going to have you come here and we won't have a buyout for you. And that gives us the edge on that school. And so all types of details to work out in this one.
Robinson with the steal and the one-hand. Red hot, then they dump their sage in a puddle of water. Can't burn wet sage. Off the mark, and Carr kept it alive for Ortega Owe. Another easy bucket. This one belongs to Brandon Garrison.
I love that on the court. You don't want to see a setback. And he's done it in big games. He was a +7 last game when he was on the court in that big one against Gonzaga. And I just think he's a big-time X-Factor energy guy.
High kiss off the glass for Brady Cummins. He's in double figures. Got 19 in the Patriot League Championship game last year, leading Colgate back to the NCAA tournament. They played in the last 5. Push ahead. Louis Jacques, yes. Hey, shout out to our buddy Oscar Combs, Kentucky Sports Hall of Famer and the Kentucky Journalism Hall of Fame. He's on the mend right now, I'm sure watching tonight. So if you know him, shoot him a text, give him a call, or just
side with Carr as well with certain matchups.
90 seconds to go in this one. Lead is 12. Away! He's got a dozen. If the Cats can make this a 15-point win, and less likely after Parker Jones throws in his 4th 3 of the night, They've won each of their first 6 home games by 15 or more. They can make it 7. It'll be just the second time over the last quarter century that they've done that. They also did it to start the 2010-2011 season. Here's Owe in the corner. A dunk to the 3.
That's the 31st three-point attempt, the most they've had since the second game of the year. So it hadn't been pretty tonight, but it does show you their commitment to letting it fly beyond the arc.
And Sam Wright says, I can let it fly.
Andrew Carr has a big-time wingspan, but guys are shooting over the top of it. I think he might need to come out there with 2 hands high or just a. They've had some injuries, but they've intentionally scheduled tough, and you're correct. To have opportunities like this, learn a lot about your team, and I think they're going to come away saying, boys, we got off to a really cold start, but you showed some fight, and on the national stage showed what this Colgate program's all about.
Shot clock at 7. Owe tried to jam it again. 10 seconds to play. Colgate will drop to 2-9. Number 5, Kentucky will improve to 9-1. The biggest difference with Mark Pope's teams, he lets them in practice work through their mistakes instead of ending it and pointing it out it was a mistake. It was, you've got to learn to adjust in the face of adversity. They did that after Colgate took the lead a minute into the second half tonight.
Good teams find a way to win even when it's not your best night and you're shorthanded, and Kentucky got a little bit of a scare, but they didn't flinch. It shows why they have such experience and veterans. Even if it hadn't always been at Lexington, it has shown throughout this season.